Action live at Traders Post for October 21st, 2025. I'm one of your traders, Tom Hartman, alongside Mike NQ Sniper Christensen, co-founder and CSO of Traders Post. Up to 4 days a week at Price Action Live, we trade in front of you using the advanced trade execution engine known as Traders Post, the epic software that upgrades your trading. Whether trading stocks, futures, options, or crypto, Traders Post has got you covered. And today, we're trading prop firm accounts. I'm not sure what to make of markets because here's the problem.
Okay.
There's all kinds of recessionary signals that are showing. The jobs data, the oil is in contango, go into the super contango. Dollar is rising. These are all bad things, but you learn quite quickly that one, those bad things don't necessarily affect intraday trading unless there's news that happens that day, and two, that the recession trade takes about 18 months before you're even right on it if you start placing it too early, right? You could be like, you could wait out, what is it? Druckenmiller has the famous line where I think he lost $1 billion shorting the dot-com bubble.
Good.
And it took, because he was like, oh, the signs are showing that we're topping and that we're going to roll over and the recession's coming. So he started shorting, I think, in 1998. He kept adding to it until he was blown out for $1 billion in 2000, late 2000 or early 2001, and then the market turned over.
This reminds me of the phrase, the markets can remain irrational longer than you can remain solvent.
Exactly.
Yes.
The same thing with the global financial crisis, that it was years before, or about 18 months, 2 years before, like the first problems with the banking sector before it actually showed up in the housing markets. So I take the doomsday financial news with a grain of salt because it's very clickbaity. No one wants to see everything's fine, everything's great, unless you're on CNBC or Bloomberg. Like, no one wants to hear that. But that being said, the Bitcoin still being down, the dollar moving up, oil, and now potentially gold top in here is worrisome to me.
Gold's top has been nuts in the first place. First off, this movement in price action is the bullish I've seen any asset for years now. And I'm not talking about in absolute terms. I just mean relative to the market. I recognize that Bitcoin is a very bullish asset. But when we look at the rest of the market here, this is a sector overlay chart that's giving me all kinds of different indications of how different sectors of the stock market are doing. These are mostly the State Street sector ETFs. And then I've got some other symbols that are paired on top of this, like what's happening with oil, what's happening with treasuries, what's happening with the SPY value fund or Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, if we just look year to date, Bitcoin's up 15%. Ethereum's up 15%, kind of rounding here. NQ's up 19%. Guess what's at the top here? Gold at 64%. I mean, it's the best performing asset of 2025 as far as I can find.
That's right.
And we're talking about largest assets. I'm sure somebody could find a little penny stock that has outperformed gold. But the interesting thing here is where the liquidity actually shows up. Kathy Woods seems to have nailed it today this year as well. 58% in the ARK fund. For those
she did.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I love what they are doing with the open source market research. I just always assumed that the stock is down because every time I looked at it for like 3 years, it was down.
Yeah. Gold's even outperformed NVIDIA for what it's worth. So very fascinating to watch that. But looking at the price action on the daily chart here, it's been so bullish that it's actually gone way outside of my regression trend, even by 3 standard deviations. So I kicked this up to 6 standard deviations, and that's when it starts to actually form around the price trend, which just means this is kind of a 6 sigma bullish run here from the bottom, which is incredible.
Well, if you take a look at this is China
right.
buying gold. All right. So if you're wondering why people always think, retail people will think gold's going up, it's retail traders buying it. Look, your physical gold and your buddies who are in markets but preppers or whatever, they're not moving the gold price. All right, it's central banks that move the gold price significantly, and this is what we're seeing. So as long as they're still buying gold, gold will still go up and to the right. Now the thing is, it's not transparent. We don't know why they do the things that they do. The PBOC is not. The People's Bank of China is not particularly transparent,
Right.
and so we're guessing. But we do know they are buying a bunch of gold, which is itself worrying. Like, why would you stockpile a bunch of gold? You know who also did that? Russia, before going into Ukraine. So I don't know.
I would assume it's an objective towards the BRICS unified sense of currency. Like at some point, they're going to want some kind of store of value against their unified currency, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, silver, which we never talk about, is just blowing up.
I mean, it's the same thing. It follows in tandem with gold. It's also breaking out by standard deviations, but the my collection of silver dollars is looking more valuable than ever. We actually get it listed on eBay now.
Nice. Now we do have market open in the next 5 minutes. I will take a look at. I'll actually ask you in a second, Mike, about your levels for NASDAQ.
Yep.
But I did want to just quickly go over some of the interesting news stuff. I was like, okay, let's do some news here at the top of the hour in case people are joining in for that. First part here is the idea that the conversation about has Bitcoin topped for the cycle, it's just been ferocious because technically speaking, the 4-year bull market cycle from the, what was it, January 2022 to now, it's like that's how long the cycle should be, and we should be topping. But none of the euphoria, none of the pizzazz, none of the meme stuff, nothing has happened. So people are like, well, no, it's not there. The cycle has been extended. The cycle's not, the cycle has changed. This time is different. And then other people go, well, you're saying that, but Bitcoin is falling and we're not getting back to all-time highs, even though we're seeing equities rally. To the point where on Bill Maher, on the Real Time of Bill Maher, I don't know if you watched that show, but it's they were talking about gold and Bitcoin. I was like, okay, when you start seeing in mainstream content, not financial news, mainstream content, them talking about gold is up and what's going on with Bitcoin, then that to me sounds like topping behavior. Like that's, you know, the rule. If your mother asks you about Bitcoin, sell. So I'm like, okay, they're talking about that there. So I thought that's pretty interesting. And then Vice President J.D. Vance came out, and this clip was unbelievable. He was just saying, hey, we just want to remind everybody, we are still strong in crypto. We want to make crypto, digital assets, a big part of America, and blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But you don't normally have one of the top politicians coming out there trying to goose the price of Bitcoin up. Using their words. I mean, this is like a desperate attempt to be like, hey guys, Bitcoin's not up. Can you guys go and buy Bitcoin? So I thought that was pretty interesting.
He may as well have just used that phrase. I mean, I probably would have rallied it a little bit higher. Hey, Jarmo, thanks for joining us, man.
Well, we did get the whole, you ever see that thing where, what is it? Michael Saylor, he tweets out volatility is a gift and then Bitcoin crashes. So that happens again and again. That and Eric Trump tweets out buy the dips and then Bitcoin crashes. And so Saylor did that just recently. So we don't know if that means, hey, another crash is incoming because they're going to be selling some behind the scenes. Who knows?
Well, it's looking pretty interesting. Hey, Aventura, thanks for coming on. Yep, the gang is together today. Let's see. One of the things that I'm trying to pay attention to is what's happening with NQ's price action. So the overnight was pretty interesting to me, seeing that we finally hit another top here, and it's just shy of the all-time high. I figured that might happen, especially when the electronic session opened, that we'll probably try to touch the all-time high again. And instead, we peaked at 367 and then pulled back in the rest of the overnight session here. So I'm kind of anticipating that there could be some initial bullish activity from the open. But if this is finally a pullback, then we've got some room to S1 here at 180. And if we break that weekly VWAP and we continue from there, I would expect price action could pull back even further to 25,000, back to the psychological level again.
Okay, so I have the same sort of thing. The setup for me today is, I believe we get a candle up and open to 25,346. Let me just share this price again. Yeah, 25,346. And then my bias is towards the downside, towards the weekly VWAP and an unmitigated daily level, which is around 25,225. And I would not be surprised if during the week we're headed towards 24,900.
Yep.
So
that's about where I had S1 as well.
yeah.
So let's keep an eye on it. From what I can tell, the options market is expecting about 125 point move from here to S1 at the 25 100 level is about that distance. So could be a fairly small session, but I've also noticed that when the options market thinks it's going to be a very small volatility day and there's lots of room to support levels, it's even bigger. So maybe there's a bigger sell-off today.
Right.
All we need is a Trump tweet.
All we need is a Trump tweet. Yeah. All right. As markets open, just want to let you guys know that this episode is a Price Action Live is brought to you by Blue Sky, the best-in-class prop firm that offers same-day activation, daily payouts, and no max restrictions. You guys can always go to the bluesky.pro link inside of the description in order to sign up for your account today.
I have another setup change here I wanted to cover as well. Tom reminded me recently that you can just have a greater than zero button on your charts. And I actually like this approach for several different reasons. If I didn't want to just move a line on the chart in order to activate and trigger an event, I can just create an alert in TradingView that just says price is greater than zero, which is always going to be true. That means the moment that I hit the play button, it's going to execute this message and then send that to the webhook URL that I've tied to Trader's Post. And that just makes it to where it's sort of a one-click action with a pre-designed template to execute a particular type of trade. Now, I have to be pretty careful about how I name these because I don't want to accidentally activate a trade that I don't mean to. But right. In theory, if I'm getting ready to trade a short here, and I want to chase after the price action, I can just click this button, hit the play button, and it's gonna trigger a short right away without having to drag a line on the chart or drop the line on the current candle or any of that kind of stuff. I've also noticed it seems like it's a little bit faster because the calculation doesn't take as much time.
Right.
When you drop a line on the chart, TradingView has to remember where that line was and then calculate the price relative to that price line. So I'm kind of thinking this might be a little bit more of an efficient way to get into my positions here from TradingView.
All right, we're getting a sell-off here at 9:30. Is it a fake? Is it real?
Bit of a flush out so far.
Yeah, I'm already short because we're below EVWAP.
Well, you got ahead of me. I'm trying to stick with my rules. One of the many rules that I've established for myself. One of them is waiting for the first 6 minutes of the session. The first three bars.
That's right. I always try to honor the beast within me. And I know that nothing will build up FOMO in me more than not being at the open. And so I just pay the tax. This is my open fee, 1 micro, and I expect it to fail.
Well, we're back at overnight support here at 265. Maybe a small bounce from here.
Yeah, for a short, I don't like how close the weekly VWAP is. It's just like, it doesn't give enough room to go down and lends itself to the idea that we can rocket up. So I like holding these positions. You know me. I want to get the highest point of the day and just hold that for the rest of the day if I believe that there's a downtrend. Mm-hmm. But when we're so close to the weekly VWAP, there could be so many orders there that just launches us up into the stratosphere. Because no rhyme or reason. I was telling Mike before the stream, I normally was used to looking at the dollar over the last 12 hours to see what it's doing. In order, if the dollar goes up, I expect the equities to go down. And then I also look at bond spreads, the 3 month, 6 month, the 2 year, 5 year. I look at bond spreads to see what's the funding like, what's the volatility in the funding markets before open. None of that is mattering anymore when it comes to equities. They just keep rallying when I don't expect them to. In bad news, they'll rally. And the only downs we're really seeing is happening in, like, if it happens in the overnight, it reverses during the US session. And if it goes up in the overnight, that reverses. So it's like There's no trend here. It's just this gamma rotation happening with positioning.
Oof.
Well, we'll see. We're here to make money, not complain. Nope, sorry, I'm here to complain as well.
Did you already jump out of that short, or still?
Oh no, I'm trying to hold on to it until. If anything, if it were to rise up, I would get stopped out at 25,313, and I would get and I would get back in again at 347.
Okay, let's give one a try here.
Oh yeah, this is your confirmation. You love confirmations.
A little bit. I got a little ahead of this candle. And
all right, before the close.
Trying to turn against me here. Looks like a little short-term bounce. I had a 15-point stop loss on that. So first trade's a small loser.
Yikes. Mine's retration. Oh dear.
Okay, I kind of expected that there would be some bounce from that 260 support level from the overnight, but it looks like it could be a temporary retrace before we push back down again. So I'm going to wait for this candle to close. We're on the, we're on the 15-minute chart here, still 10 minutes left from the open. And it's still looking pretty bearish as a candle. It's below some moving averages here, the 8 and 55 EMA. But I do expect that 231, the weekly VWAP, would be support from here. So just not a lot of room for any movement, really.
Right. Peter is itching to try prop firm trading, but he's like, he doesn't even know the terms that we use. So he's like, I got to do a little bit of research beforehand before I start pressing that button.
We should just have him start on like ES, something really, not even ES, but MES, and just trade one little micro at a time, just to learn the button pushing part. You know, Austin Silver said that on my interview with him. He made the argument that forget about the whether or not paper trading is real and the emotions are real and any of that. You just got to get used to the mechanics of all of it. Just knowing how to push the button to get into a position, to get out of a position. What does sizing mean? How do I calculate the risk? So on and so forth. That whole process needs to be learned first.
Guys, if you're not aware and you're using TradingView, I'm not sure if the email went out, if you saw the what's new. They have multi-condition alerts now. So if you wanted to set an alert that would fire, because multiple things were true, so RSI below a certain thing and then the EMA cross, you can do that now, which is great. And plus you have the whole time frame component here where you can, like, let's say, set the RSI to a higher time frame, put multiple ones on your chart, and then do a confluence across all of them. It's really pretty interesting. I wish there was more features, but I'm glad that we have this so far. If you guys want a more robust confluence of alerts indicators, head over to our YouTube channel, our Blueprint series. We have a confluence of alerts indicator that gives you all of these features you have here in TradingView, plus a little extra, such as being able to set how many bars since the cross happened, and different quirks, different ways of testing it out. I'm actually going to be upgrading that indicator soon because people want to be able to test strategies with it, Mike. People keep asking me about that. So you'll be able to put the confluence alerts and seeing on the chart all the times that it happened and how profitable it might have been if you took those trades.
Got it. Well, that's actually super interesting. I've been playing around with this a little bit. One thing that I can do to kind of help me follow my rules here as well is before I'm even allowed to trigger a short or a long is to include another rule. One of the rules I have is around thresholds for where ATR is at. So I could make it to where ATR has got to be above 10 before I can even enter a trade. Because when I'm in zones where ATR is really low, it's usually really choppy and I shouldn't be trading around there anyway. So just as a test, I went ahead and put in a condition here with a value so high that when I apply it and save this indicator, you can see that it's not triggering my alert right away because of that extra ATR condition. So even if I want to hit the play button, I can't push the button. That's what I need. I like it.
Absolutely, you can protect yourself against it. So those lines that you're putting on the chart, that you guys draw on the chart and add your alerts on, you could set an extra condition on them for a number of different things in order to prevent yourself from spazzing out and trading when you're not supposed
Did you
to.
just call me a spaz?
Hey, if the spaz fits.
All right, so
It's been so relaxing just lowering the position size. I mean, we've heard this before, but the level of stress that I have is just dropped to near zero. I have no FOMO because I could always be in a trade. Come on, it's no movement. We're just bouncing around here. What's going on? Let's go down. No, you want to.
Just trying it again.
If any of you guys are in a trade, please let us know. Except if it's the opposite trade that we're in which case, keep it to yourself. I'm kidding, of course.
Aventura says the interview with Austin Silver was a great interview. I totally agree. That guy's got a ton of energy and a ton of wisdom. He sounds like he's been through, all of it, and had some really great advice for prop firm traders.
I had a friend of mine who was just risking way too much money on trading in crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I had to finally make the pitch to him. Hey, you might want to consider prop firms because you get the same sort of leverage that you're talking about without having to risk so much of your own capital. And
Right.
finally sort of clicked in his head after I explained it again and again and again. Hey, actually, this might be the way of doing it. Because not only do you get the leverage of, you're paying the fee for the prop firm account, and then you have, a position size that's larger than you might normally be able to put on. You can then also have multiple different prop firm accounts and tie them together, and so that one signal goes across all of them, which is what Mike is doing right now with Trader's Post. And I knew that I had succeeded when he says, hey, wait, couldn't I use Trader's Post in order to connect all those prop firms together and sort of have like another layer of leverage on top of having the prop firm accounts? I go, yes, you got it. He goes, I think I got to sign up for an account. I didn't even push it. He came up with it on his own. I thought that was great.
Okay. Loving this new rule here. I've added that condition to where I can't get in unless ATR is above 10. That's nice. That's gonna help me stay out of bad trades. And it looks like ATR is coming up a little bit. Look at this candle falling below. I'm about ready to go ahead and hit the go button here.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We'll give it a few seconds. I want to see it retrace just a little bit there. And let's try it right there.
Aventura was long from 8 p.m. yesterday. What a move, guy. Nice. I like that.
I got some time slippage due to TradingView there, but so far it's a winning trade. Come on, a little bit more. That just put me in the green.
Oh, wait, 8 p.m. yesterday. That means you got in near the high here. Sorry about that, Aventura.
Oh, yeah, bummer.
All right, my short is printing.
I'm going to go ahead and trend overlay.
All right, we're about to hit weekly VWAP, which is my first level, at 231. Come on, give me that momentum.
Oh, right off of weekly VWAP. Oops.
Yeah.
That was a mistake. Are you still in that short?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'm watching from here, but we're just now bouncing off of the electronic weekly VWAP there.
Yeah, so that could absolutely give us a bounce back up to, let's say, 286. I've been struggling with this idea of adding to my winners. I don't know what to do with that because I sort of feel like just get my funded accounts to pay out and worry about the size of that after I had that whole process down versus, well, I'm seeing the trade and I'm willing to lose but I'm not willing to win more and cut into my winnings. I'm not sure how to think about that. Because if I double the position, I can only go half as far. I can only allow half as much leash for the price. And I'm not sure I like that.
Understood.
There's something about being here where my stop is like at 313 that makes me feel great about letting this ride and not having to close out my position or move my stop loss to a profitable break even. So I'm not sure what to think about that. But then Mustang Trader, Nick was saying that's how he ended up making way more of a buffer, way more payouts. You eventually have to put on your big boy pants and do something like that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. You're an add to position kind of guy.
I am. Yeah. But only if it's clear it's in the direction of my win, which usually is measured by the regression trend.
Right.
And this is a little bit of a tough trade this morning. It's not selling off as much as I would like to see it sell off from VWAP. The trend is actually pretty weak. It's right above 0.7, and we just keep rallying back up to VWAP again. We've seen sessions like this before, and what ends up happening is it just keeps chopping around VWAP. So I'm hoping that we can actually get a trend here. Sorry to hear that, Aventura. Yeah, looks like the overnight pullback is starting to occur here. Okay, so apparently so
you feel your pain.
Let's see.
So this is what I was talking about before. When the weekly VWAP is so close, to the price, you sort of can't necessarily get that momentum. If it breaks, it's great, but it can absolutely between here and 212 just rally massively in the other direction. Bitcoin is still falling. Gold is down. And the dollar has been suspicious as always.
Suspicious.
It's just sideways. It's like pick a trend, man. We can't. How are we supposed to live our life without a trend in the dollar?
Let me tell you something. You're suspect.
Okay. Are we pushing below weekly? Are you? Yeah, you're still in the trade, right?
I am. So I've got the trend overlay short, and I have a scalp in right now, which looks like it's about to get stopped out. Cool.
Dang. Your stops are so close.
Well, yeah, it's all based on ATR, and these last couple of candles have actually been a little bit larger than I expected. Right. So I gotta get a little bit larger of a stop in place. Fortunately, I still have the one short at 237. I'm going to stay in that one to see how far we can go. That'll be my trend overlay. But I might actually get stopped out of this one too and just be down $50 for the day.
I'm looking maybe to add to my short at 270 here. I do like that. No, don't add, Tom. Don't.
Feels like a good place to add.
I know, and that's why I'm not going to do it because it feels right. And the market is here. Oh, you're adding here at 256?
I'm going to add another scalp, yeah. I actually feel like we're going to find... Come on. All right. So this will just be a scalp overlaid on top of the short, and it's good for 18 points.
I have this rule for myself because I'm so bad at determining like what the candles are telling me that if it feels like a good idea to me, I don't do it. I only put on the trades when it looks like, okay, here we're hitting the level that I think risk reward ratio is there. I put on the trade, totally expecting it to fail. And the moment I go, this feels like it's going my direction, is exactly when the candle goes in the other way.
Got it. All right, so that ends up being a first in last out kind of trade, and what just happened is Trade just it swapped out my sell order, so that just positioned me better for the longer term short that I'm in right now, which is now up $37.
What do you mean by that? That it swapped out your sell order?
So the previous sell order to get into my short was down here at 236.75, but then I added a scalp trade on top of that, and it bought to cover that position just now. It made the money. It made the profit on the trade. But instead of it leaving the original 236.75, it took the sell order at 255
I
from
see.
the previous scalp. So now I'm actually in my short at 255.
Got it. All right, another major level here is, or significant level, not major, is the 213. Can we break that? If we break that and we confirm 213 on the low end, then I'm going to be adding to my short for sure. Because that means we'll downtrend until at least 12 o'clock. Well, yeah. I'm saying that with a level of confidence that's way higher than I should. All right,
Okay.
up 119. Let's see if we can keep this. All right. Okay, I'm feeling better about my trading today. Yesterday, not being able to trade, although I don't trade much on Mondays, for Topstep being down because of AWS was brutal. I had to spend my evening reading forum threads of people just outraged. How can they have a product like this that could ever go down? Oh my God, they took away my profits.
It's a good question for Amazon. I really want to know how these guys managed to have a cascading DNS failure. Like, I'm imagining there's a guy in there. His only job is just to renew domains at Amazon, and just somehow forgot to renew one of the domains or something.
Well, did you see the story? I forget the name of the head engineer or whatever who's responsible for this. James Hamilton, I think his name was,
Okay.
and the logs for the Amazon web server, they were like, okay, message was sent out to James Hamilton. He's on a yacht. The guy's like super rich. He's, overpaid, not overpaid, but paid handsomely by Amazon because he's such, he's the GOAT over there. And they said his boat docked at 2:57 p.m. and then at 3:01 services are restored. So it was like an episode of Silicon Valley. It was like, oh my God, what is happening here?
All right, a little bit of a spike into VWAP there. I think I'm going to have to get out of my positions here.
Yeah. Well, we spiked to the level I was expecting at 270.
That's true.
Like that's where I was saying would be a great place to add to the short, but that I didn't want to touch. But I'm actually more confident in the short now than I was a moment ago. I want to see the bounce off the levels, and then I want to see that bounce fail. I don't want to see no bounce, that's for sure. And I definitely don't want consolidation along the weekly VWAP.
I'm going to wait for this candle to close. I'd like to see how it responds to VWAP here.
Yeah, it's got to close below. It's got to get down to below 245 and close there, or it could be the beginning of the uptrend.
Because unfortunately, that was my one good trend following trade, and now it's turning against me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I like you here. Let's give you a try.
This is why, Mike, I just like getting as high as possible on my short and just sitting on my hands and just let the thing play out.
Yeah. Well, I was doing that, but now it's looking like it's going to go above VWAP on us.
Well, it's still a downtrend here, but it's bounced off of VWAP. That's the thing I don't like. It bounced off the weekly VWAP.
I'm gonna let it happen. I forgot my water. I'm gonna go grab it.
Sure. Stopped out and now it's going back in the opposite direction. That's how markets go, Aventura. That's why it's so painful. Trade Beacon says, looking good, fellas. Thank you so much. Not so much my P&L, but I'm here to fight another day.
Oh, come on, man. I want to come back and see the candle fell, not rose.
I know. That's like me waking up at 3 a.m., check my Topstep account. Oh, okay, green. I could go back to sleep. It's one
See,
of the
now,
things I like about trading at night, because I set my trades and I go to bed. And then there's no nursing it. Yeah, this is what I didn't like.
all right, so I'm gonna sit on your hands moment here, where we're trying. It's trying to break the regression trend from the top here, which looked pretty good, and we haven't completely closed above VWAP yet, but it's looking pretty bullish.
Yeah, I mean, still 348 is in the cards if it bounces here. If we take a look at the 15-minute VWAP levels, 270 is really this high here. So as long as we're below there, we're still in this downtrend.
Okay, I'm happy with this now. What's happening?
I'm happy now. I'm not happy now.
I'm not. I'm very upset now. I'm very happy now. If somebody hasn't observed it yet, it's obvious that if trading can either make you the craziest person on the planet, which I might already be, or it can make you the happiest person on the planet. And I'm pretty sure I'm heading towards the former. Trade Beacon says that color suits you, Tom. I like it.
Oh, thank you. Peter hates the shirt. He says it's bad for thumbnails. You can't crop me out of the background.
Peter's got a gripe for anything that makes his work harder on the video side.
Peter lives in the woods behind God's back, okay? He left civilization a long time ago. I'm not going to take fashion choices from him. Thank you very much.
All right. We'll let him know. Okay. Took some profit on that scalp. That's good. And I still have the short that I'm holding, which I'm now revised back in at 254.
Awesome.
It's like wearing a blue shirt as a weatherman. Yeah, exactly. Just messing with the editors.
I can't really express how fascinated I am when I watch Mike trade. Just going to address this to the chat. To me, this is all performance. It's all like being on stage. It's watching someone do stand-up comedy, watching someone play music. It's really interesting. And
is this an earmuffs moment? Are you trying to? I'll just earmuffs. If you want to speak your truth. Go ahead.
And the P&L that we get to see there, it's like the applause from a stand-up comedy show, how well the laughs are going, how well the applause are going. And so I get this ride, I get this journey that I really don't get with anyone else or any other piece of content. It's like being on the set of a reality TV show. It's fantastic.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad it's entertaining to watch. I would like it to be consistent.
Profitable.
Yeah, exactly. And profitable. Since September 17th, my trading journal is really showing me I'm on track to look good here. The main thing that I've been following, there's a number of rules that have been very effective for me so far, and I'll kind of run through them. One is establishing at least the first 6 minutes. We've already seen how that can turn against me, so waiting a few minutes from the open for sure. I'm on the 2-minute candles now. That's also been very helpful to get on a little bit longer of a time frame, but still give me enough room to watch the regression trend with more data points. It's tougher to actually capture the more granular trend if you're on a higher time frame. Plus, I already watched the regression trend on the higher time frames anyway, but I'm looking for the reversals in the middle of the session.
Right.
I want to wait at least a few minutes in between each trade. I catch myself over trading, and so waiting a few minutes between trades is helpful. That at least slows me down a little bit. It's like getting a circuit breaker from the market. Just give yourself a chance to wait a second, let the candles breathe before you get back in. Waiting for candle confirmation below or above VWAP. That's always been helpful. But the big thing is the losses. Once I have 2 losses for the day, that should be my sign to get out. And the thinking behind this is, if I'm able to gather one winning trade after the next, I want to keep my win rate above 75%. And that win rate with a 1-to-1 risk ratio on most of my trades should allow me to remain profitable throughout each session. And if I have 2 losing trades in a row, I really don't want that to count against my long-term average. I did it yesterday and it hurt my long-term average. I'm now at a 59% win rate. So I'm trying to get that back up again by taking successive, winning trades. So the rules are set. Now the goal is to actually stick with my rules, and the closer I get to sticking with them, the better off I am. But the win rate based exits, I think that's pretty interesting, because it basically says, all right, if I take 3 trades in a row and they're all winners, the 4th trade is a loss. I'm at a 75% win rate. Okay, keep going. All right, the 5th one is a loss. All right, call that a day, because now you've had two losses. But if I take like 8 trades in a row and the 9th one's a loss, I can keep going if I like, keep playing the game until I hit that 75% mark. Now it's time to get out.
Okay, so the longer you play well, the longer you play the game. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. And now obviously that innately incentivizes me to make better and better trades over time.
This is the sort of thing I find fascinating, because I always relate everything to video games, because that was my childhood, or D&D and all that sort of thing. And so you're playing that like a paladin. You got to be in the game. You're taking the beatings. You want longevity. But I've always wanted to play I always play with DPS. I'm a damage player, mage. I want to blast as much as possible, and then I'm out. It's just I want to do that at the right time. The thing is, playing that way in markets, I mean, I've lost way too many times to make that worthwhile. So I'm trying to actually be I guess a support class, where I've just put it on the thing and I'm just staying in the background. I'm not actually in the fray, because the moment I start doing anything, the moment I start calculating, hey, I can do this, I can make this amount of money, I fail. I just like to put on the trade at the level that it said, and I just walk away. Like my trade today, I set it up in the morning. The price is down, and to me, I'm not thinking about it until it gets stopped out.
Yep. Well, I did do that today, and that has been helpful. Just took another scalp. That was another winner. And I'm still in that short for the day. But like I told you, first in, last out, now it's revised my position down to 232 instead of 255. So I just have to keep track of how TradingView keeps doing that to me.
When they do that, does it adjust your stop?
It does not, unless I hit a new high water mark for the short, and then it will drag this down. This is a 60-point trailing stop.
Got it. Okay, so we're bouncing right at that daily VWAP level. Not today's, but yesterday's. So this is the closing price for VWAP yesterday. And this is my most worrisome area. I almost want to set I guess I should set my break even to profit, because we could totally skyrocket from here.
So I'm exactly at 75% win right now, unless this trade becomes a loser. Right now it's still open and still positive, but I want to keep an eye on this. Oops.
Right.
Gotta turn this back on. You can't log in too many times on these platforms.
All right, so 245 will be my stop loss. That might be a little bit too close.
I'm at that time of the year now where the sun's just getting worse every day. As much as I love my background here, we're going to have to get that out of the way. Let me pull that down.
Okay. Oh, man, Mike, I can't even tell you how much I would love for this just to break this support we're at right now. Please. Then bounce back up, confirm it.
Yeah, we're almost there. So that should make this resistance. This should be the first stop of support at 175. And then the next one would be the psychological $25,000 level.
Okay. Yeah, I got 164. All right. That makes sense.
Ooh, what is this? See, these little short-term bounces are what's driving me crazy.
Well, like I said, we're right at the unmitigated VWAP level for the day, and that's a strong level for the short term. Sometimes NASDAQ will just breeze through it, but that's usually like we're breezing through it. So either we give up the ghosts within the next 15 minutes, or I think we bounce up. That's why my stop's at 246 right now.
and 25.
Are you hoping we don't bounce?
I'm
like, if you knew for a fact that we would be bouncing, let's say to 270, would you close the trade?
If this was the bounce, if this was the bottom, is that what you mean?
No, like if let's say we would continue a downtrend, but you knew for a fact that the price right now we're going to get a couple of candles that bounced us up to 270. Would you exit the trade, or would you hold the trade for until we get down lower later?
No. If I don't expect we're going to see a continuation to the short side, I got to get out of these trades. These rely on trend in the same direction, and I don't want to go too deep in drawdown.
Okay.
Still no rain in Denver. Yeah, that's true. It's another nice day here. We don't have a ton of rain. It is the high desert overall. But when we do have rainy days, they just haven't been on the days that I stream. How funny is that?
I don't like this price action.
Yeah, it's been doing this.
How much time for the 15? We have... Oh, there's plenty of time for the 15. 10 minutes left. Story's not even done. Okay, never mind. I retract my worry.
Yeah, we are in the third candle here. 15 minutes looking pretty good, but it looks like it's trying to find support off of that weekly VWAP line.
Yeah.
A little concerned I'm going to get stopped out here.
Yeah, I think almost certainly, yeah, I should just exit the position right now.
Oops.
Indecision. It's
a little bit of consolidation here at 228. But we're still below that 8 EMA. I'm holding hope that there might be one more little leg down. I don't think so, though. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take my hit here. Okay, so pretty much break even for the day. That's a bit of a rally that I was expecting there on that last candle. Let's see how it responds to VWAP here, but I've already kind of over traded for the session here.
Yes, let's call it.
Yeah, I'm not very happy with the overall day performance. Let me run my stats here real quick. Let's see where we come in at. Yeah, so right now would be the point in which I should pull the plug. I'm at a win rate of 60%. And that would be my main rule is I was at 75, but the last trade was a loser. So now I'm going to cut myself off for the day.
Understood.
Yep. So up a little bit here. At least it's not negative for the day. We made some profitable trades.
That's a win.
It's a win.
That is a win.
That payout target.
I mean, I do not underestimate that at all. That is a win.
On the cloth just joined. He said, I just got here. Stick around. Well, unfortunately, I've got a self-imposed rule that I'm not going to trade beyond a certain level for the day. In this case, I had several good winning trades, but then went below my 75% win rate. So I'm going to cut myself off here. We're not getting the continuation we're hoping for on these candles either. Every time we get into a short, the bulls step back in again, and it's just sort of a weird downtrend so far. Peter says, you guys have changed. Yeah, I agree with you. You know how tired I am of losing accounts, right? New rules, man. New rules. I don't want to lose any more of these things.
Well, do the Tyler G rule. They're my babies. I got to keep them.
Yes. I got to treat them like my children. I'm just nurturing them and caring for them. So, and once I feel like I'm good at having 4 kids, then I'll have 8 kids.
That's
then,
right.
12 and then 24. And the next thing you know, you're wondering if I'm Mormon. Yes, I am.
You got to move to Utah. All right, guys. Well, that'll be it for us today for Price Action Live. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more trading. And until then, we wish you guys, as always,